Today we're going to talk about metric conversions. So when you hear the concept of metric to imperial conversions, what we're talking about is changing something from, say, millimeters to inches. And so that means, or centimeters to inches. Now, if you think about this, we have 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, which is equal to 0.39 inches, right? 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters, which is the same as 1.09 yards, okay? Now, 1 kilometer is the same as 1,000 meters, which is the same as 0.62 miles. Now, when you hear of an inch, we're talking about an inch being converted into 2.54 centimeters. So now we're going from imperial to metric. Before, we were going from what we use in Canada to what we use in the States. And then what we use in the States, and we convert it to what we use in Canada. Now, there are several different types of calculations, and you can see that all of them lead to these. So if you think about it, 1 foot, 1 yard is equal to 3 foot, which is equal to 0.91 meters. Sorry, and we can do the same thing for a mile. 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards, which is equal to 1.61. So all of these equations can be set up, can be used to help us calculate the equation to find a certain length. Now, the only thing that you don't know is this concept here, Celsius and Fahrenheit, how to calculate it. These are the equations that you have to use for Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius. So now, to calculate Fahrenheit when you have Celsius, you take 9 divided by 5, multiply it by C, and then add 32 afterwards. To get Celsius from Fahrenheit, we have to do 5 over 9. But the first thing that we have to do is we have to take the Fahrenheit and subtract 32. So we do this first, and then multiply by 5 over 9 to get our answers. So now let's go and talk about the rest of this. So based on those charts that we have here, which you'll have access to online, you got to understand that 1 mile is approximately 1.6 K. 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimeters, things like that. Just try to remember these specific things, okay? These are all just basic calculations that we can use in order to help us calculate different distances, okay? Now, it is important that you're able to do these different distances and weights and volumes. So now let's get into the meat of it. So we're going to use the cross product that we did before the break in order to do these type of problems, okay? For example, if I got 1 mile, right? We would convert it, we would say 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers, right? Now, in this case, for example, A, we're looking to change, we know how many centimeters we have, but we don't know how many inches we have. So let's just call that X. So now when we do our calculations, all we end up doing is something similar to this. We're going to say we're looking for our inches, and the thing we know is our centimeters. So we're going to have the following. X over 5 is equal to, well, we know from our equations here that 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. So we're going to use 1 divided by 2.5. Then we go and do our cross product as before. And we're going to get 2.5 times x is equal to, so we bring the x and the 2.5 together, is equal to, well, 5 times 1 gives us 5, doesn't it? Which means what we do next to get x by itself is we go 2.5, we divide both sides by 2.5, and we're left with x is equal to 2 centimeters. Now let's do the same thing for question number 2. Remember that we said that 1 mile was approximately 1.6 kilometers, right? Now, for this next problem here, 3.5, we're going to change 3.5 kilometers to miles. So here's what we do. We're going to call this miles x. So we're going to be looking for x, and that's always what we're going to start with on top. We're going to call that mile. And kilometers is going to be on the bottom of our fraction. So we're going to have the following. X over 3.5 is equal to, well, remember we said that 1 mile was equal to 1.6 kilometers. So that means we've got 1 over 1.6. And then what we do is we simply cross product. So we're going to get the following. 1.6x is equal to 3.5. And once you've got that, you've got to divide both sides by 1.6. And you end up with x is equal to 2.1875. And since you notice that all of the numbers are to 1 decimal place, let's just round it to this decimal here. So we end up with x is equal to, instead of 2.1, you're going to get, because we have an 8 here, we have to round up. So we have to round this to 2.2 and miles. And that is our answer. So now let's move on to our next problem. So now we're going to take 3 inches and turn it into centimeters. Okay? So like before, we say x is what we're looking for. So now we have centimeters over inches is x over 3 is 2.54 over 1. And now that we've got that, we're going to have to cross multiply. So you're going to have the following. 1x is equal to, well, 3 times 2.54. So if you just don't have a 1, just multiply and get your answer. So in this case, you're going to get the following. 7.62 is 1x. And to get 1x by itself, we divide both sides by 1. And what we were originally looking for was x centimeters. So we end up with 7.62 centimeters. Now, we can leave that as 7.62 centimeters because you'll notice that all of these numbers here, the biggest number of decimals is 2 decimals. So we can just leave it like that. Now, if you want, you can try 1.5 kilometers to inches just for fun. Send me an email if you'd like to know what that answer is, or you could always check the answer on Google after you've done your calculations. It's a multi-step problem. So now what I need you to do is I need you to move on to the final problem of the day, which is 10 miles into kilometers. So pause the video and put x over x kilometers, and I want you to solve it using your own wits. Good luck. So you're going to start with this, x over 10. Remember, 1.6 kilometers is 1 mile. So you've got x over 10 is 1.6 over 1. And now you do your cross multiplication. And you end up with 1x is equal to 1.6 times 10, which is 160. And then we divide both sides by 1, get our final answer as x is equal to 160 kilometers. And we are done. Now go try some of the questions that I've posted for you. Good luck.